Tropical storm Isaac is spinning straight towards the Gulf Coast, growing stronger each hour and expected to grow into a full-on hurricane as it churns towards New Orleans, where, as fate would have it, the storm is predicted to hit 7 years to the day that Hurricane Katrina brought the city to its knees. ABC's Ginger Z with the Extreme Weather Team brings us the latest from the ground, tracking Isaac.
Tonight, a storm that could be the first hurricane to hit the Gulf Coast in 4 years is aimed squarely at New Orleans. Are you ready?
Yeah, we feel pretty confident about this system. It's almost not comparable to what was in place when Hurricane Katrina hit.
Today, we got up close to the colossal machinery, part of the new 133 miles of levees that is now New Orleans' first line of defense.
See all the yellow boxes here? There's 11 brand new ones, 11 tons apiece that shut down and separate the 17th Street Canal from Lake Pontchartrain. This way, when storm surge comes through into and trying to get into the canal, they can shut it down and keep it away from downtown New Orleans.
We feel very comfortable that the system, as it's designed, will perform the way we think it will.
As Isaac makes its slow approach, it's hard not to compare this storm to Katrina. Not because of size, but there are some eerie similarities. Look at Katrina's path when it slammed into the Gulf. If the current forecast path holds, Isaac will take a similar route. Weaker, yes, but with landfall virtually on the same day, 7 years later.
Hurricane winds within the next 48 hours.
We're worried about flooding. We're worried about tornadoes.
From Florida to Alabama, Mississippi to Louisiana, televisions are plastered with seemingly constant storm updates. Public officials are ready to show they've learned from the mistakes of the past.
Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal will be holding a briefing on Isaac preparations.
Traffic has been backed up for miles as more than 50,000 people in low-lying areas have been ordered to evacuate. Hundreds of thousands of Gulf Coast residents from Mississippi to Alabama are being encouraged to leave too.
Today is the day for those folks living in those areas to get out of harm's way.
But Buggy and Dodie Vegas have heard it all before.
This is the marina.
Their small marina in Grand Isle, Louisiana was decimated by Katrina. They came back to rebuild only to get soaked by the Gulf oil spill in 2010. Back then, Buggy voiced his frustration to George Stephanopoulos.
Shut it down, clean it up, and let's get home with our lives.
Now, as Isaac moves in, most of their neighbors have headed for higher ground, but the Vegases are determined to stay as long as the levee holds.
If it would be a Katrina, I'd be the first one out, but this one here, they come on through and let us get back to work.
Isaac has already cut a path of destruction through the Caribbean. This time-lapse animation shows the storm spinning and churning over the last week on its path to the U.S. In Haiti, at least 19 deaths have been attributed to the storm. Flooding and mudslides there, now the main concern. There seemed to be little worry when Isaac rolled ashore on Sunday in the Florida Keys.
Why are you guys out here?
Because we're out of DVDs at home.
Like most days around here, they made it a reason to celebrate. But at the Starbucks in New Orleans today, where they have a permanent reminder of the flooding 7 years ago, they don't laugh at these things anymore.
The whole feel in the city is a little different when you have something like Katrina happen.
Yeah, we used to have hurricane parties, and now we take it a lot more seriously, and if we need to leave, we leave, and I think we do it even when we're told not to.
Here, they remember all too well what happened after Katrina brushed the Florida coast. Then it was only a Category 1 storm. In fact, it didn't look that much more imposing than Isaac does now. But the warm waters of the Gulf helped strengthen Katrina into a monster Category 5.
Isaac is not likely to become anywhere near as strong or as large as Katrina, but I don't want to diminish the risk from Isaac. There's still going to be a storm surge that'll be deep enough to potentially cause loss of life. And there'll be rainfall that will produce flooding that will also be a great risk.
Hurricanes plus.
Linda Anderson lost her home in Katrina.
We had 9 feet of water in our home here in Lakeview, and
she moved back to the old neighborhood just a few months ago.
We're really hoping that the Corps of Engineers has done their job this time.
The Corps says they have. But for those who still don't trust the levees, there's always this option, heading for higher ground, Cajun style. For Nightline, I'm Ginger Z in New Orleans.